Hello,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Is it morning with you?
No, I'm still in South Africa.
I thought you went on
Nobody knows that. No. No, we had troubles with like the car, and there was the whole. So I had to delay it by a week. So I go on Wednesday.
Oh, love, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, it's fine. It just sort of delayed everything, but it's good.
Oh,
So
bless you.
yeah,
Carla, how are you?
I'm good. Oh, I've got a double delay.
Oh, Carla, can you hear me?
Can you see me? No.
No, it's up to you if you want to be seen.
I'm
Hi.
just not sure if you can hear me or see me.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay, great.
Can you hear me? It's Carla.
Hey,
Hi,
Carla, how are
Carla.
you?
Hi. I'm
How
just
are
gonna
you?
be, I'm good. I'm just gonna be a little bit in and out because I'm sitting here with my kids and watching Paw Patrol. And Daddy's not home, so I might have to, put somebody to bed soon. So
It's fine. It's fine. Mine are also, they've promised me they're going to go to sleep, but we shall see.
okay. Here,
There's a lot of bribery in this
see the
house
little
right
one.
now. Oh, hello. Oh, she looks sleepy.
Yeah,
Yeah?
she is, I think. So
Yeah.
Oh, hey, gorgeous. These are these voices.
And then, is that you, Jane, that's joined us? Who else has joined us? Come say hi, and then say hi in the chat. And we'll just give people a few more minutes before we can start. Is it you, Jane? So we've got Natasha, we've got Carla, and then there's someone else. But that's cool. You can say hi in the chat.
So I did send the invitation to several new people. So I'm trying to spread the word as well.
Bless you. Thank you for that. I appreciate. My goodness, you're like my copywriter, my marketing. I'm going to have to start buying you more wine.
That's a fine
Bribery the
form
wine.
of payment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put mute on.
Wangari that's
Okay.
joined us.
Pardon, Tash?
There's someone called Wangari.
Wangari. Yeah.
Wangari. Sorry.
Oh, cool. Yes, you came. I remember. Lovely to have you join us. Remind me where in Joburg you are. Belovo, I think. No. You can talk too.
Oh, good.
You can type.
Hi.
Hey! How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Yeah, I'm good. Did we pronounce your name right?
Yes, you did. Wangari.
Wangari, yes, I got it right. Wangari. Lovely to see you again. Whereabouts in Joburg are you?
I'm studying at UJ, so I live near Auckland Park.
Ah, okay, cool. And what are you studying?
I'm doing my master's in marketing.
Ah, Clip, you need to teach us. Huh? Are you doing a digital component of it?
Yes, my background is in digital marketing.
Oh, amazing. Huh, well, we need to talk some more. And where are you from, South Africa, or you came here to study?
I'm from Kenya, and I've been here a couple of years now.
Oh, amazing. And do you go home often to Kenya?
Not in a while, probably in the last year. I haven't been home for about a year. But yeah, I have family here, so I'm here with family. So it's not
nice.
Yes, it's not too much of missing the critical people. We Skype on Sundays with my sisters, so we've made it work.
Ah, lovely. Great. Okay, well, let me come off this and I will share my screen. Feel free to stop me at any point if you've got questions. Haven't worked out still how to, oh, there we go. There we go. Maybe that will work. No, maybe it won't. I need to try and look at the chat at the same time as showing you all the slides, but I'm not sure if that's possible because I need to see this. Yeah, there we go. Okie dokie. There. Can you see that? Okay. Can everyone see the slides? Yep. Yeah, great.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so the whole point of translating me is summed up in these two images that I still very much feel like if you move abroad with your partner, you go back in time and everyone treats you either as invisible or a general dog's body. You can do everything for anyone at any time. And so I want to change that. And I think from going out and about the last 2 weeks and doing the event at Perch, the talk that was coming back, or the things that were coming back time and time again, is I am just not sure if I'm ever going to be able to work again. And the longer I am out of work, so the more moves we do, the harder it is to get back in. I've lost any of the confidence I once had, and I completely underestimated how moving abroad, I thought it would be quite exciting. I didn't realize that it would have such a significant impact on my identity. And then looking forward, the concerns around kind of job interviews and just not having things to talk about, I think, with your partner or with your friends. And then kind of once you've been out again for a while, it's oh geez, I'm not even sure I could go back to work full time or work for someone else that doesn't give me this same flexibility that I've had. Or we can't have that because we've got kids and someone needs to be around, particularly if your partner's traveling a lot. So do those kind of relate to you? Just put in the chat how, if any of them are the same as what you're going through, what you've been through, you can relate to them. Or if I've missed out any kind of the key phrases, I guess you would say, or the big challenges you're currently having, just put those in the chat there. And so what I want to challenge us to do is to give your career, hang on, you don't need to, give your career an update. So similar to, like, you know, your app and it gets updated, and to change the kind of traditional singular track of your career into, well, hang on a minute, I could do many things. And we're seeing technology particularly open up new opportunities for us all the time. And millennials now, I think, looking at having 15 different jobs, probably not all at the same time, but over their careers, but definitely kind of 3 to 5 all at the same time. And so I think the opportunity for us is to almost give ourselves permission to branch out and to look at different threads to who we are and different titles. And this kind of just looks at where we are now and how far we've come. So 10 years, maybe some of them are actually 12 years, none of these companies even existed. And so I think my challenge to you is what do you want to be in 10 years? So in 10 years from now, how old will you be? If you've got kids, how old will the kids be? And what are the types of things that will influence your day and will make up your day? What are the key activities that are going to be involved in that? And it's quite sad that we spend so much of our time planning holidays, which may or may not then happen. And yet we don't really spend that much time thinking about this. We don't really spend that much time thinking about how I would actually like to structure my day. And what are some of the things that I would like to prioritize in over the next 10 years? And then how can we then start to make that happen? The other big shift in changing your scope of your career is we're living much longer now than we ever have done before. I love this picture of 100. I hope I'm like this lady, although I don't smoke, but and the scientists are already predicting that children are going to be living to over 100, which is mental. And I saw this great thing the other day on the World Economic Forum. Hang on a minute, I just need to turn somebody's mute. Hang on. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so scientists are already predicting that we will live till over 120, or our children will live to over 120. And on the World Economic Forum the other day, I just saw this video which suggested that we shouldn't even start working until we're 40. And we should work between the ages of 40 and 80. And we should spend the first 40 years studying. And so, Wakari, you're doing the right thing. Studying, having children, Carla, and just enjoying figuring out who we are before we then make the jump into our careers at 40 and work full-time between 40 and 80, or whatever full-time looks like. And then we can retire because we're going to be living to 120 anyway. And it was just quite an interesting thing to think through. The biggest thing for me that hit home was how much of our society is based on the Industrial Revolution and based on the Victorian times or colonial times that doesn't actually work for us anymore. Even the concept of retirement and your pension was started by the Germans, I think, in the 1800s, and when people were going to live till they were 50. So how the heck is your retirement plan? You're not going to be retiring at 60 and living till you're 120. So you need to think of diversifying your income streams and thinking of things differently. Or what would you want to do? I don't know if I want to live to 120, but cool. I'm just looking at Polina, thanks for joining us. Lovely to have you here. We are literally just setting the scene on changing and rebranding your careers and what the future currently is being predicted for us. Definitely the gap on the resume. I hear you, Tash. And so not only are we going to live longer, but also the jobs that we're doing are going to be completely different. So 70% of those jobs that when we hit 10, 12 years time, so 2030, don't exist yet. And all of these jobs are probably going to be wiped out by AI, artificial intelligence. I was speaking to a very good friend of ours who is high up at GSK, and he had just been to Australia to work with a startup there that had created an app that could tell you could diagnose you if you're going to get flu or not. So you don't have to go to the doctors. And the whole point is that if you don't have to go to the doctors, you're not distributing your germs with everyone there, and then if you process that app, they can see where the outbreaks of flu are, so they can shut it down before it even spreads. It was absolutely mental. But basically they're saying they're not sure how much longer doctors are going to be around for, which is pretty bonkers when we think about the jobs our children are going to do, and pretty bonkers when we think about if we're going to be continuing to live that long. So Tash, what were you? The app, what with doctors? So yeah, I mean, I guess then you wouldn't go to school, or a whole school would kind of shut down. In New Zealand, yeah, maybe it's the same guys. Maybe they weren't Australia. Maybe it was New Zealand. But anyway, the point is that we need to branch out of this singular, pre-described version of success and careers. And once we start to do that, we will help equip ourselves to remain employable when we go home, which is what we're here this evening to chat through and to learn more about. So I think I've met all of you, but for those listening on the replay, hello, my name is Hannah, and I am a trail runner. I'm a mother of twins and a 7-year-old daughter. I'm a wife to Matt, who initially brought us to this wonderful country. We have called South Africa home for the last 7 years, or another home. And it's been the best thing that ever happened to us moving abroad. And I want to share and help other people also get all the benefits of living in this incredible city and incredible country, and seeing the best of it rather than all of that negativity. And so, yeah, that's me. Get yourself some water and a notebook and a pen if you haven't already done so. I will try, the chat is there for you as well, so put stuff in the chat, but I will probably focus in on the slides and then from time to time look again in the chat. So that's there for you. If you haven't come and said hi, do come and say hi. And then I will share basically some points around the future of work and the skill set that you will need to keep yourself employed for the next kind of 10 years, I guess, or 5 years. It depends how quickly technology takes over. And then I'm going to discuss the Global Intern Program after that and take any questions that you might have. So tonight you are in the right place if you are worried about going back into your old career. You want to use your time abroad to have a fresh perspective, maybe even how to do life differently. You want to work again, but probably not the same hours or the stress, and definitely not the commute. For me, I did not want to commute again. And you want to be part of something bigger and belong to maybe a team or something that has purpose. You want to use your time here to start something you can generate over the next 20 to 30 years, and you're just interested to know what the opportunities are and how the world of work is changing. So, Wagari, you left corporate. Oh, that's cool. Go to another, and now okay. Cool. Okay, so you're studying and to basically hopefully restart that passion project. But let me know what you're doing. But for the rest of us, the kind of fear of what am I going to do when I go home never really goes away, and we try a whole load of different things, from volunteering to education to becoming a coach. To, I don't know, what are some of the things that you have done to keep yourself viable, to keep yourself employable? Share with me in the chat. But for me, I had done all 3 of these things. And the main problem was that I would do them, I would say yes to every opportunity because I got so excited. And then in about 2 months, I'd be like, this is a bit rubbish. I don't really want to do it. Or I'm missing work. I'm missing people telling me I'm doing quite a good job. I'm missing enhancing the skills that I'd already started. And I think I just felt a bit like this. And so whilst your spider career or portfolio career, whatever you want to call it, is taking on lots of different things, what it's not is going round and round and round in circles, and trying different things and saying yes to everything, which is exactly what I did and where I struggled completely. I started off after kind of knowing when I was 15, I met Saracens rugby players came into my school, and they came with this lovely lady called Anne Louise, and she became my hero. And I was like, I want to do what you are doing. And so I did. And that's what I went on to do. And so then when we moved to South Africa, it was a bit like, oh, rubbish. What the heck am I doing? How am I going to do sport here? And so I tried. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to work for the Springboks. I wanted to work for elite athletes, and I wanted to take that experience back so it would progress my career. Very much singular, this is what I need to do, rather than standing back and looking to see if there were any other options. And so I did. I went up and worked in Pretoria, but that kind of sucked because it came down to that commute that I said again. And I just spent all my time in a car, and I was like, nah, don't really want to do this either. So I was back to stage one again, and I just felt like I was on this. I just felt like the whole time I was going round and round in circles, and time was going by, and we were longer and longer outside the UK, but at the same time it was quite cool because I could have some children, which I went on to do, and it's sunny, and that we have a swimming pool, which is quite nice, and life is quite easy here, and I loved the people, and I loved exploring, and Joburg keeps on springing up more and more cool stuff to do and explore. So the key for me was to define what my version of success was. And that's why I did the event and interviewed and kind of picked out. I wanted them to tell us what their version of success is and how they've created or curated their own version. Because we don't have to subscribe to this predetermined singular job title and hide behind it. We can branch out and be brave to have some confidence to start something different and new. And so now I happily introduce myself as being a trail runner, of supporting expats. And that all came about because I just started blogging. And so when I meet new people, I've met quite a few people that have just arrived in South Africa this last week. My main bit of advice is to start a side hustle or start a side business. And what this means is it's just a low risk opportunity. You know, businesses have changed and technology has enabled us to access and start businesses that previously we would have to go into a bank and kind of apply for all kinds of loans and upfront money and all of that stuff. Now we don't have to. We can just start a website or start a blog or start something on Instagram, and then who knows what happens. I was listening today on a podcast to a lovely British lady who has just been, her book's just been published on paper cutting. And she did that through Instagram. Everyone just followed her. She just started cutting paper and making cool stuff from it. And now she has a full business in teaching people how to cut paper. And it all came about through Instagram. So social media channels and technology have turned us all into entrepreneurs. And I was again listening to another webinar with Sunday Schneider Bean, who's in Pretoria, but she's an expat coach. And she showed us pictures of entrepreneurs. When she Googled entrepreneur on the internet, all of these pictures of males come up, all of them, and probably 80% of them white males. And so it's no wonder that we don't see ourselves as an entrepreneur. And I certainly don't see myself as an entrepreneur. I don't want to be the next Richard Branson by any way. I kind of just want to earn enough that I can scale it up, and I'm almost giving myself a risk-free plan. And so this is kind of the income. When I say I don't want to be Richard Branson, it's because I'm very fortunate that I have a husband that's just doing this blue line. And hopefully he's in a traditional corporate career and he just pootles along and we earn more. And then when he retires, he'll go down here and then go along here. Whereas what I want to do is I kind of started off in London earning average-ish to him, but then I didn't really do much when having kids. And then I'm just hoping that I plod along and I can earn different money from different projects that is for my retirement. And so once I had changed my perspective of what my version of success was, so once I allowed myself to step away from this 15 years of you will work in sport, and which probably a lot of it came from my father, and I kind of thought, oh, well, that is my passion. I can only have one passion. That's what the books say. It's such a load of rubbish. You can have loads of passions. And underneath all of that, when I started to look at the ingredients, it was, I love people, I love training, I love development. So how can I use those? And I love technology. How can I use that here in South Africa to fit all the other facts are that I want to work part-time. I want to work so I can spend time with my kids. I want to work so that if anything happens to our marriage, I have something that's mine that I can scale up and make myself okay. And I want to have something that if we move somewhere else or we move back to the UK, again, I've got a plan. I know what I'm going to do and I know how to scale that up. And so those were my reasons for starting a blog and starting Translating Me, to start something that was very small, but that was significant. So each week I started with just 2-3 hours a week, but I roughly knew, I would hate to say I knew because I didn't really, but I roughly had an idea of where I was headed and where I was going. And so the second point, the first point was to update and reimagine your career path, to look at the world through a different perspective, and living abroad is amazing at helping us to do that. The second thing I urge you all to do is to create your own career path. And you can do that by starting a spider web or a life chart, or however you really want to do it. But just get curious and start to journal the things that make you smile more, your priorities, the things that make you really angry, because often the things that make us angry are the things that are really important to us. So if we are going to create our own career path, what is the market telling us? Because it's all very well and good us doing this for ourselves, but what actually is the market saying? And it is the skills that we need to stay relevant in this tech fast world that we're part of. You've got to have a personal brand. Personal brands are here to stay. Everything is now visual. Social media is not going anywhere. Your social profiles aren't going anywhere. And so if you don't want to be left behind, you've got to become an expert in something. The way that recruitment now works is it's mainly done on LinkedIn, yes, but there's loads of other recruitment profiles now. There's Upwork that I mentioned earlier, freelancer.com, Dots, which is a great creative version of LinkedIn. And so once, when your job was pretty safe because no one else had the similar skill set to you, now companies can access a global network of experts. And so no one's job is that safe anymore because companies want the best and they can get the best in the world. Hence why lots of us are expats. And so you have to start having a personal brand and being visible so that you can attract opportunities to yourself. The other great thing about technology and how we can use it to create our own personal brand is that we can make and meet genuine people. I think they say something like 80% of all jobs are given to people before they even go live. And that's through networking. And gone are those days of the stuffy old meet in person network. You can collaborate with people. And again, it's great if you're an expat and you're moving somewhere new, you can reach out to those people. But if you're also establishing yourself in a new industry, you can reach out to those people and connect and just be like, hi, how you doing? How have you done this? Where are the gaps in the market? And you can just, I've met some brilliant people from all over the world that have been so helpful in the journey. Yeah, and I think that the other thing is just to be kind. Sounds really stupid, but it doesn't take much. And so the great thing about the internet and a website is you can redo it at any point. So you can be something today and then something else tomorrow. It really doesn't matter. You don't have to be an expert in one thing. You can create different, multiple websites. So try not to overthink it and just start with a singular page website and then maybe go and have a photo shoot, get some professional photos done and use a photo, the same photo across all of your social media profiles. Figure out what expert you want to become known for, what niche you want to become known for, what values, what purpose you really want to have. And the Ikigai is a great Japanese model that could help you just start to ask yourself some questions around that. And then see what happens. And then you can change it in a year's time or 2 years' time. I mean, I keep changing. It's fine. But if you don't start, then you're never going to know and you're going to get left behind. The second skill I think we all need to have is we need to start to understand more and more technology, whether that's coding, whether that's social media, whether that's cybersecurity. These are the jobs that we're going to need going forward. And so let's get ourselves trained up in it and never stop learning. We're always in beta mode. We can always keep learning and keep upgrading and updating ourselves. Just because you studied one thing doesn't mean that you have to be pigeonholed into that. And that's what the great thing about a spider web is that you can still just draw threads all the way through. I still think maybe in my 40s, 50s, I will go back into sport in some form. But who knows? It's still one of my threads. But right now, it doesn't align with the mother I want to be and the wife I want to be and the South African that I want to be, that wants to go home for 6 weeks every summer, winter, or whatever it is here currently. The other thing is creativity. And I'm sure you've noticed, or as I just said, the paper cutting is a classic example. With the rise in technology, what's also starting to happen is the lowering of work hours and burnout. People are getting really burnt out, and self-care and everything and kind of is being valued a lot more than it ever was previously.
buka nito.
Hang on, hi. Let me just.
Seminary si kanina.
Let me just. There we go. Yeah, cool. Sorry, I was just muting. So where I was like, yeah, so creativity, and you can now teach yourself anything and everything online. But the amazing thing is with the rise in personalization, so the rise in Netflix showing us what we want to watch when we want to watch it, the rise in social media giving us our news, which is personalized terrifyingly, but rather than a newspaper, and the rise in Amazon and online shopping means that high streets need to provide something different. They need to provide something which is back to the wholesome, raw ingredients, independently owned coffee shops, which are personalized rather than the big global Starbucks chains. And so creativity and thinking differently, and again, collaborating is going to be such a vital skill that we all will have going forward. The other thing that needs to happen with the big brands, and particularly on social media, is content creation and storytelling. And very few companies are doing this properly. I don't know if you've got any examples, Wangnagari, but there's lots of, hey, look at us, we're doing a great job, rather than engagement and standing for something greater than your company. So a great example is Nike, that they aren't just a sportswear brand. They now do Nike 5K runs, 10K runs. They're bringing people together. They've got an app which teaches you how to stay active, how to stay healthy. They're putting a large amount on your health and fitness. Oh, and here we can sell you some shoes at the end of it. But it's all about community rather than just being about Nike. And that's telling their story. They're telling their story to engage you and to make connection with you. Another one, if you're from the UK, is Bowden Clothing. They do they're kind of very, very English, and Canadians probably roots clothing. And I'm sure there's all the different brands from all over the world. But content creation is huge. There's so much content out there. It's unbelievable. So to make a difference, you have to be able to tell a story and to engage. And then obviously the last one is entrepreneurship. We have to think of solving 100 problems, and one of them might work, but that's, if we don't try, we don't know. Are there any questions on kind of those skills that we need? I mean, the great thing is a lot of these as expats is flipping brilliant, because we're creative, because we're looking at the world through a different set of lenses, because we were raised in one or more countries, and so we learn different cultural ways of living. Our personal brand is, a lot of us have some time to invest into figuring that out. And entrepreneurship, a lot of the skills needed for resilience, creativity. I mean, flip me, expats have that, because we're managing 101 different things at once. So let me just see if there's any questions. No, you good? You good for me to move on? Okay, let me just grab some water. Okie dokie. So, all of these skills put together will enable us to move away from this 50s image of who we are to who we can become. And that is pretty exciting. And so my challenge for you is this has been quite a lot of information about what's coming, what's next, what skills are needed. And so how does it work for you? What are you going to do? What's next for you? What's next for you in 2018? And are you going to volunteer some more? Are you going to study? Are you going to train and do another training program and another training program in the hope that it might help in the future? I mean, the other thing is that I don't know how much longer education is going to be able to keep up with the rapid change that's happening, because syllabuses that were written more than 2 years ago are now out of date in the digital space. So yeah, or are you going to be brave enough to start something on the side, to use this time abroad to press pause, almost like a maternity leave for your career, and jump out of that predetermined expectations box of this is the profession I must be, because the chances are it might not exist in 20 years' time. And then more importantly, how can you get the confidence to try it? And I think, I don't know, what are some of the things that are holding you back from this side hustle? Is it that you're not sure what to start? Is it that you're not sure what the finishing point is, so it's hard to start? These are some of the reasons when I've been asking people these last 2 weeks that they've come up with. So just not sure where to start. but what happens if I mess it up and everyone's online and then can see me? What will people think? I mean, I'm not an expert. They're going to think I'm arrogant and, oh, look at her. She thinks she's Charlie Big Potatoes. And I haven't done enough education. I haven't done enough studying. Or, well, this is all great if you go onto Upwork and you see that people are graphic designers and they are illustrators and photographers. Those skills are really easy. The creative types are really easy to take abroad, but I don't have those. So how can I be a freelancer? Or is it, do you know, the kids are still small and I just don't really feel like I have the time right now. So again, do those relate? Put that in the chat. What are some of the things that have stopped you from starting a side hustle? So for some of you, this is great, and your next steps would be to pinpoint your unique blend of, okay, well, if I'm going to be living till I'm 100, what do I want my next 10 years to look like? Is it more of the same of what I'm doing currently? Is it completely different? I don't know, but just spend some time figuring that out. Spend some time working out what expert you would like to be known for, what you would like to be known for. And that can be 4 or 5 things. It doesn't just have to be one thing. Keep learning. How can you keep up to date with the change and keep getting to know more and more of the digital landscape? So podcasts, books, courses, webinars like this. So keep learning. And then I think the biggest thing that holds so many of us back is this confidence gap. And so my advice for confidence is, firstly, the online profiles and stuff, I still hate. I hate doing stuff like this. I did a Facebook Live 2 days ago and I was so dreadful, and I just, it was horrible. It was horrible. I was talking for like this 45 minutes, but live on Facebook. And I just had to tell myself, Hannah, they're just on there looking for their own stuff. They don't even really care what you're doing. People are more concerned and more worried about what they're doing than they are about what you're doing. And there's that great quote of, your opinion of me is none of my business. And I just love it. It just helps me with the confidence. So maybe that would help. The other thing is, I often talk about skiing. And when I learned to ski, is that the only way you get confident at skiing and the only way you get good at skiing is falling over a heck of a lot. And so the only way you're going to get good at starting a side hustle is by starting a side hustle and failing, and then just getting up one more time than you failed. And there's another great quote from Michael Jordan about how many times he had missed and he didn't make it into the college team, and he failed a heck of a lot in order to create the great player that he was. And so if confidence is holding you back, then those are kind of my 2 tips: to know that you're going to fail a lot, but hey, who cares? And to not really care what other people think of you. And the other thing that helps with confidence is the just having a folder of nice things or nice emails, or when people have said, do you know what, this is really great, please continue, please, I don't know, do more of this, or thank you for that. And just having those, so when you feel rubbish, you can read those, and hopefully that will help you to get up one more time. I don't know, am I the only one that suffers with confidence and feels like a wally when I go on Facebook Live? I don't know, let me know in the chat again or what you do to help when you're feeling rubbish, or what would you tell a child on how, if they didn't want to do their school play or didn't want to do a music recital or you know, how do we build confidence? Because I don't think we're born confident or not. It is a lot, although Carla, maybe in America, like, how do you do it? I have never met an unconfident American. I think they teach you at school just to be confident. But okay, so what are some of the things holding you back? Lack of digital skills. Oh, but that's easy peasy. Making time, Dash. Yeah. Everyone has 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It just depends how you divvy it up. Education time and making time. Yeah, making time. But that's cool. I think you need to be kind to yourself too, in that you give so much of your time to other things, but maybe use this time when you're back at home to reevaluate and restructure that. Yeah, to focus on what's important. Wangari, that's you know, my road. I still am doing lots of that. Oh, bless you, Carla, with me lots of confidence. No, I just don't think that's true. But it's very kind to say that. Tasha's answer for confidence is to picture everyone naked. I love that. Yes. That's funny. Bless you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so keep the confident. If you think of any more tips on how we can stay confident, then please share them, because I think it's so important. Okay, so the global our newest program, which I am so excited about, because all of that digital skills you mentioned, the confidence you mentioned, the time, the making friends is all together in this 3-month program, which I couldn't be more excited about. I think this has probably taken me 5 years to pull together and to pull out exactly what it can do and what we need to take us from arriving and feeling rubbish and depressed to leaving having experienced the flipping best of South Africa. And so that's basically the mission. The mission is to ensure that each move that we have enhances our own personal brand by having a range of global projects and income streams coming in. I mean, how exciting is that? That's exciting. I'm excited about that. I want to be able to go home or go to a next country having like 2 income streams or 2-3 global projects that I'm still working on, because it's possible through technology. So we just need to get started. That's exciting. And then how are we going to do it? We're going to do it by giving you all the digital skills and the confidence you need to start a variety of projects, side hustles, and businesses. So how are we going to do it? And basically, the program is split up into 3 sections. So you've got in-demand digital skills. We're going to teach you the tools. We give you experience within a local South African company so you can share what you've been doing, but also that will give you the confidence to pick it up and then sell it to your own network. And then you will be part of our team, which my big vision here is that this team won't just be in South Africa, but it will be in Singapore, Hong Kong, London, Geneva, France, Kenya, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Australia, New Zealand, America. Everywhere will have people that have global interns that have completed this and then form part of our Ubuntu club, that we can then put together projects and we can run campaigns and we can work together each and every day online as part of a team. That is very cool and exciting. So with those 3 things, when you leave the program, you can then start your own freelance journey. It doesn't matter if you're not a creative type. Social media, it's so wide and open. So you can be a brilliant illustrator and do paper cutting and do creative stuff. Of course you can. Then you're going to grow your brand best on Pinterest and Instagram. But it might be that actually you're quite scientific and you're quite analytical. And so therefore you're going to be a geek in Google Analytics. You're going to love it. and Facebook ads and seeing what converts and what doesn't convert. And it's a whole science behind crunching all that data, because again, I don't know if you've got examples of this, Wangari, but it's lots of companies don't know what to do with the data. So they collect it, but they're not analyzing it, and that's then not feeding back into their campaign of how to change, what to change, when to post, who to post to. So you can start your freelance journey, you can become an expert, and so all of our programs are based around the key pin of you creating your own journey and you becoming an expert. Because once you become an expert, then no one else is any competition to you. You never have to compare yourself to anyone else again, because no one else is going to be an expat living in South Africa with a background in sport, who's a coach. No one else. Like, no one else is going to have, and even if they are, the chances of them being passionate about diversity and inclusion and training and development, that's not going to happen. And so I can quite comfortably plod along at my own pace with this message and being this expert, because I don't think anyone else is going to be doing it. So the key part of the program, the retreat, is figuring out 1, 2, 5, 10 areas that you want to be an expert in. It gives you experience to chat about, to future job interviews. It gives you friends and colleagues for life. You know, we're not going anywhere. We have internet, we have Skype now. Let's get together, let's brainstorm, let's support one another. And then, as I said, you're part of a global network that we can pull together groups and teams that then can pitch to win contracts and translate that across the world, because we're going to be all across the world. So who is it for? It doesn't matter, basically. It's not, I've had so many people say, but I'm a local, how can I do this? It's fine. It's for expats. Yes, that's the main reason that I've done it, because my experience is my own was I just got depressed, and I don't want people to spend 2 years, 3 years after they move or having kids getting depressed. But it doesn't just have to be for expats. It can be for locals. It can be for people who are just fed up of the 9 to 5 and want to take a career on that's going to give them exciting opportunities to travel the world. It can be for people that are caring for an elderly parent or somebody that's sick or a sick child. You know, there's so many people that are currently excluded from the workforce because they've chosen to do something good for the greater good of humanity and humankind, like having children or looking after sick people. Why should they be excluded from the workforce? It's bonkers. It doesn't make sense. So this is going to help change it. So it's for anyone that wants to personalize their career, that wants to go up you 9 to 5, don't want to do it. I want to create my own personal suit, my own personal career. Everything else in this world is personalized. Now it's time to do it for my career that works when I want, works with people that I want, and clients that I want. You're willing to take responsibility for making that happen. No one's going to save you. Your partner's not going to save you. The company's not going to save you. You know, it's a tough old world. You've got to make it happen. It's not a la carte, sit there, wait for a waiter to come and say, here we go, Hannah. Here's all the jobs you can do in South Africa and Joburg. That ain't going to happen. So you have to actually get up and go to the buffet table and start trying stuff and see what you like. It's for people that want to gain confidence. And it's for people that aren't afraid to have 101 different titles, and that might be confusing and they might not know how to introduce themselves. But as the last one says, at least you'll be authentic and you'll be you, and you won't be saying I'm such and such as I'm Florence's mum or I'm Matt's wife. And finally, it's for people that want to use technology and explore that more. So we start everything with our 2-day retreat, which is currently, I'm just waiting for some of the lecturers, guest lecturers, to get back to me, but it's either going to be the 8th and 9th of September or the following weekend, the 15th, 16th of September. And that's going to be held again, I'm waiting for confirmation, but either out at the Vaal River or out in Mahalisburg. So not that far away, an hour, hour and a half. So you can come back if you want to, and included in the price is one night's accommodation. So we start Saturday morning and we finish Sunday afternoon. And so one night's accommodation and your food is included. And then if you want to come on the Friday night, then you just have to pay extra. I'll have to negotiate that with the lodge that we're staying at. But it's going to be lots of walking, lots of canoeing, sundowners, hopefully a bit of bush. We can see some giraffes. And so we get the best of South Africa, and then we'll have lecturers, we're coming in to talk, we'll have accountability sessions, some time just for yourself to go off and journal or canoe or go out on the river. Who knows, it might even be warm, we could swim. And then time for us to have group work, around the table discussions, and workshops. So it's all very exciting. So that's the 2-day retreat. Then we've got the learning platform, which every single week we're going to cover a different topic, and all of this is then geared towards giving you the tools and the knowledge that you need to run a campaign. So once you know what you're going to be an expert in and what you're going to run the campaign on, the next bit is then putting in place the tools that you need and a framework that you need that you can then go and meet your client with. We're also going to learn, so that's all online, and we will come together similar to this once a week in the evening or in an afternoon. Again, we will decide that on the retreat to figure out what's best for everybody. And that will be every single week, and you will have homeworks and assignments every single week too. And then the masterclasses and the experts in the industry are people coming in to give us lectures and videos of people from all over the world that are in AI, digital, advertising, social media. So yeah, that's quite exciting. And then peer accountability and development, you will all belong to a set group that you will do those exercises and things with. So currently these 3 amazing experts have helped me create the content and the curriculum. I've also got another 2 people that I'm not ready to launch them or publish them yet. But one's a lot more kind of expat-y focused. So Tessa Graham she basically made Jamie Oliver, who he is, a UK chef. She worked on his personal brand and then has worked on loads of other people's personal brands all over the world. And here she works with Tasha's, and she's worked with a couple of the swimmers, and just loads, joined circles, and now David Higgs, who's the chef at Marble. My background is in sport, as you heard earlier, but it was working with big corporate sponsors at matching them and connecting and making the sponsorships work. So it was all around marketing, it was all around brand activation, event management, and working with individual players at figuring out then what's next and getting them to understand what they want to be an expert in, other than obviously rugby. And then Spilly, some of you met at the event. Spilly has put together a brilliant framework called the MBA for freelancers, and that will be the course textbook for the whole course. And then he will come and give us a guest lecture helping us to know how to become a freelancer. So that is him. So the schedule, sorry, where's you, Tash? There we go. The schedule, these are the companies that have signed up, but every single one of us is unique, so I don't really know what your speciality is. So I can't go out and match you with a company until I know that you signed up. So sign up now, so I've got time to find you a flipping brilliant host company. But I no joke, everyone I speak to about this is asking to have an expat come and run their social media for them. So I could probably walk into most companies and get you a placement. That just proves how in demand social media is going forward and the potential that is there, because people are crying out for expertise in this area. So this is what the key headlines for each of the different sections in the framework. So the personal branding and foundations of digital marketing, the digital marketing mix and how that differs from a traditional marketing. That should be powerful conversations and storytelling, the science and the geeky bit of data and analytics, and then the implementation is our 5-step framework that we have. So you will have a piece of paper that when you sit down with your client, or you go to an agency, or you go to your own client's future in months to come, you have the exact questions you need to ask them to gather all of that information that then you can really easily go away and put together your own campaign. So we've done all the thinking for you, all the tools, all the resources, all done for you, so you don't have to worry or get concerned. So how much is it? The retreat is worth, if you were to go and have a coaching series to figure out your brand, to figure out your expertise, to use, say, Tessa's services, then you're looking at probably about $2,000. The lectures every week is around $800, and then the coaching calls $500. And then on top of that, we're going to use Slack or have a Facebook forum, which will be exciting. And so all of that together, it is just $2,500 plus VAT. So the VAT is wherever you currently pay VAT, I need to charge you VAT. But because this is the first time we are doing it, in return for your feedback to me about how great or how rubbish or it doesn't make, or whatever it is, I'm giving you a 20% discount. So this expires at the end of July, so next Tuesday. So almost 20% off, so it makes it just under $2,000. Bargain. Plus, the first 3 people to sign up will get a one-on-one coaching session with me, and will get access to the Ubuntu resources for the whole of August. So you can get cracking on starting to think through all of your expertise and your personal branding, because there's lots of resources in there. Oh, and one of the questions was, how much do social media's managers make? And I think starting level is about $30 an hour on Upwork, and it goes right the way up to $120 an hour. It depends on what services you are providing. So that's the scope. So actually you can make this back within the first month or 2 months. It depends how many hours you want to make, but there is work out there for you, and there's not enough social media managers to fill it. So you can make it all back. So this is where you need to go to sign up. So it's just translatingme.org/global intern or global/intern/application. Go do it now, and then you'll guarantee one of those 3 early bird slots. So that is it from the kind of stuff. Let me stop sharing and then come back and chat and look at all the wonderful people that I have. Do you have any questions? I know one of the questions was around, can I do it if I'm not in South Africa? That was one of the ones that came in that wasn't able to make it. And yes, you just have to get yourself to Joburg for that retreat. So the first 2 days, and I will try and let you know ASAP which weekend it is so you can book flights. But we'd love to have you come and join us, and then all the rest is accessible. And then particularly if you're from Europe, you're on a very similar time zone. So you can come and join us easily for all of the other interactive stuff. The only thing, I might struggle to find you a work placement. But I certainly will try, and I'll certainly support you. And it might be that even the work placement you use is a South African company and you just do it virtually as well. So that's an option. Yeah, is there any other, do you have, I generally understand the value of knowledge I have when I volunteered. Yeah. Oh, amazing. Like if you're reviewing Google Ads, that's if you're the data Wangari, then you can start putting your services out there now. I'm sure there's lots of opportunities to analyze and to give a report and give feedback. You can package that up quite easily, particularly if you include Facebook advertising. Was there, what do you all think, guys? Does it excite you? Do you have any questions? Are you all just stoked? Yay, Tash. Do you have any questions, Tash? Oh, the other question that came in was on time. I think it's quite hard for me to say because I haven't done it yet. So it's the first time. But obviously the weekend is the weekend. And then after that, I imagine it would be between 4 and 6 hours a week that you will need to do the coursework. So you can do that over 2 mornings. You can do it in 1 day. That's how much. I think if you allocated yourself 1 day, you'll be fine. 1 day a week to complete everything. And that's for the intensive kind of 6-week session. So you've got the retreat, which is 2 days, the 6 weeks of learn. Here's our tools, here's our framework, here's the strategy. And then you've got a 6-week internship, but that's very fluid. It's for you to agree with the company. So if you want to work longer, you can work longer. If you want to run an 8-week campaign, you can run an 8-week campaign. If you don't want to start that till next year, you don't have to start that till next year. It all depends on your plans and what you're doing in and around Christmas. Start and end dates, Carla. So that probably answers it. Either the weekend of the 8th, 9th of September or the 15th, 16th of September is the start date. And then we will finish mid-November and then you can run your campaign. You want it on the 15th, 16th, Tash? Okay, you're like, yeah, that it is looking more that, but I was meant, yeah, anyway, yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, any other questions? You can come off mute and actually talk to me if you want to. What did you think of the future of work? Does that scare you? Is it a bit mind-blowing to get your head around, or is it exciting?
I'm personally really excited because, I mean, from years back, I already knew I didn't want to work in corporate, so I was kind of wondering what I was going to do with my life. But the way things are moving, I have more options than I even thought.
What are the 4 options?
No, I said I have more options.
Oh, more options. I thought you nailed it. Okay, cool. Wangari, what were you doing in corporate? What did you give up?
I did a bit of audit and consulting at Deloitte. And then a lot of burnout and disillusion. Made me look outside, and luckily the timing was good, and I had a friend who was launching a business and a book, and I basically managed that as my first project.
Wow, that's very exciting. And what was the book?
I remember we were in high school together, but she was ahead of me. But she started a program called Imagine, Believe, Become, and wrote a book and created a program and was, like doing talks, and she self-published. So it was literally the two of us grinding out to launch everything.
Amazing. Amazing. See? Oh, that's so exciting. I love hearing stuff like that. And I just think, I mean, that's pretty brave for you to say bye to Deloitte, which is, what you were told as your childhood is all about, isn't it? So, well done. My goodness. And I hope that the future of work gave you inspired you, the event that we had, because they had all pretty much said no to corporate and started different things. Have you do you want to use digital? Is that kind of your main strategy going forward, or do you want to use it to start a shop or to start a product, or?
A little bit of both, actually. What happens is my background, as much as it's in digital marketing, my skill and my passion is in teaching and coaching and training. So even based on the projects I've worked on, it's always people who either are coaches, consultants, or they're authors. And I'm usually the person behind the scenes putting everything together. And I guess now I've decided to do it for myself.
It's always much harder doing it for yourself. Oh, exciting. Oh, I'm very excited. I think it's great. Cool. Okay. Any other, Tash, any final remarks before we sign off? No. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I really hope you found it valuable. If you have any questions, then you found your thing, consulting. I'm very excited. Tash? Yes. Did you go and follow up with Maya from Perch? Yes. Exciting. That's so now I look forward to seeing your website. And that's the thing, like becoming an expert, it doesn't necessarily happen overnight. It's an ongoing process of trying new things, of figuring it out, of restarting, doing another website. That's okay. It's fluid. The world's fluid. And so I think that's probably what I will leave on is just get started and continue to be curious. Continue to build your confidence and to know the impact that our mind has, and often that's the only thing that's holding us back. And to just continue to get your own clarity on being brave enough to walk in the snow a different way to everyone else. What are the kids? Oh, that's amazing. That's so special. No, that's cool. Thank you. Amazing. Cool. Okay, guys, have a lovely evening. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Those that are listening on the recording, drop me an email if you have any questions, and we will chat soon. B, you just joined us. I was literally just saying bye.
I'm a little bit late. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. You have to go pour yourself a glass of wine and then watch the replay. I'll get it out pretty quick.
I will do that. Sorry, I put the kids to bed just now.
No, it's fine. I said at the beginning of the call, I literally just had to bribe mine. Maybe next time I'll do it at 8 o'clock. That might be more helpful for people putting kids. We shall see. Yeah, would that be more helpful?
For me, that would be easier, but I mean, I can have my husband put them to bed. What are you drinking?
Baby. Hello.
Hi, Tash, how are you?
Good, thank you. I messaged you. Get online now.
Yeah. Thank
Good to see
you.
you.
Thanks for
Good
the
to hear.
reminder.
Great.
Okay, cool. Well, lovely to speak to you all, guys. And I will go and I'll do it now, B, for you, so you can watch it.
Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yes, guys.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.